Coffee and convo, y'all. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider, man. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, make sure you guys wipe them feet. Also, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are not subscribed yet, I'm out of breath. I did the show early. I just got done doing my morning run with Chloe. So I'm low-key cooked, you guys. So bear with me. Wife beater Graphk is definitely in the building, man. Salute to Green Dot Gang. I see Ant, Raiders God, Duke, all my people, George, Louis G, One Nation, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Salute to my guy, Jay Insight, Raiders Primos, Silver and Facts. I am Punchy, my dog, man. I appreciate you, brother, for being here. Salute to JB Killer. You know what's rough for the Raiders win, Graphk, is wearing a tank top on live. Yeah, I think I'm losing my mind here, JB. But we're here, though, man. You already know what it is, man. Salute to Mondo, Elijah, all my guys, man. Mark Coffee, salute. Appreciate you guys so much once again for being here. Also, salute to everybody that is listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You guys are definitely very much so appreciated. Those numbers have been going through the roof over there. We're getting some ad stuff going on over there because of you guys, not because of me, but because of you guys. We're starting to get some new opportunities on the audio side of things. So if you guys can, go over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, subscribe, download, all that good stuff. Let me see. George says, don't pass out on us because this group will roast you. This is for sure. This is for sure. Rick, prayers going out to you, my brother. For real, man. For real. Salute to my guy, Rick. Brave Raider here in the building. Salute to Oakland Divas. Good to see my sis in the building. Appreciate you. As always, a ton to talk about today, you guys. We're going to get a little bit ahead of ourselves here and talk about this Colts team that we're about to face here Sunday. We're going to do some Colts preview stuff pretty early this week because I will be flying out to Indy to meet up with the guys Friday. So we're going to try and get as much content pumped out before we end up leaving to Indianapolis Friday afternoon. So stay tuned for that AFC West roundtable, roundup, whatever you want to call it. That should be probably either tomorrow or Thursday. So stay tuned for that. And once again, the play-by-play, Hammer will be calling the game by himself this Sunday. Make sure you go over there and subscribe to my little bro and support him, man. Run those numbers up. My guy's been putting that work in while working 2 jobs and going to school full time. Make sure you guys go over there and subscribe to my guy Hammer, man. OJ, no, man, no. And we'll talk about that because I do have some thoughts on this entire coaching staff, to be honest. But one coach in particular, you guys know that I'm not high on, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But no, Brennan Carroll, man, look, man, he's dealing with the cards that were dealt to him. You know what I mean? And they're trying to see this thing through. And, you know, JPJ was inserted back into the lineup at starting right guard. And guess what happened? The O-line looked really good, really good. Gave up no sacks. I believe only 2 pressures. I think it's 2 pressures all game long against Chicago. I know that's not the best defense in the world. I mean, they got 3 turnovers on Geno, right? But that's not the best defensive line in football, but they look good. You know, I'm hoping that they can build on this, but without Colton Miller, you guys, our expectations need to come down a lot when it comes to this O-line because the high ankle sprain, he'll be gone for several weeks. It doesn't look like Colton's going to be back really anytime soon. I would expect him to be gone for at least a month minimum because of, you know, his build, his stature, 6'9", 6'8", 6'9", over 300. It's going to be tough for him to even let it walk on that, let alone, you know, definitely play on it. So, and it looks like Pete Carroll is stuck with playing Stone Forsythe at left tackle. I feel for you, Brennan. I know it's your dad, and I understand that, he's calling the shots out there. And I understand that you're going to have to take some of these live bullets for your father. I feel for you, brother. I feel for you. Because Stone Forsythe is one of the worst tackles, if not the worst tackle in football. So, I know that he said that, he would like to see Charles Grant out there here soon. Hopefully he is – well, you know what? Let me say this. I expect Charles Grant, the young kid out of William & Mary, to be activated this Sunday because we're pretty thin at the tackle position right now. But maybe even Dalton Wagner gets called up. He could play right tackle if need be. Maybe you push DJ Glaze to the left side. I don't know what the plan is, but it sounds like right now – what did he say, you guys? And don't quote me on this. It was something along the lines of Stone Forsythe has played some good ball for us in the past, so on and so forth. Man, it was something along those lines. I beg to differ. He is terrible. And I'm a Raider fan, and I'm rooting for him. And I hope that he hears me and he plays great despite the fact that I feel he is terrible. I'm hoping and praying that he does that. But if he is there on that left side, expect this offensive line to regress again. I'm not expecting them to play the way they played against Chicago. Indianapolis has an interesting defense. I believe they have the worst goal line defense in football. They have one of the worst in the early 20s third down defenses, but then in every other statistic, they're top 10. I understand that they faced, a few teams early like Miami and, so on and so forth. So I'm not going to get too ahead of myself in terms of these numbers. But that Indianapolis defense, we're going to see what they can do against our Raiders offense come Sunday. They allowed a 27-piece, I believe, to the Rams this week, lost by 6, 7, something like that. The Rams are a Super Bowl contender. So I'm not expecting, the Colts to go out to LA and beat them. But I'm telling you now, them going back home to Indianapolis, 3-1, they're definitely pissed off. And they're facing a team that is coming off of a brutal, heartbreaking loss to a Chicago Bears team who had no reason to win that football game at all. I mean, when you look at the stats, you guys, and where Geno Smith, all those turnovers led to Chicago starting off on the offensive side of the football. I mean, the 20-yard line, I believe the 30-yard line, like the 40-yard line. Like, Geno was just allowing Chicago every opportunity in the world to go out there and offensively take this game from us, and they didn't. We continue to make them kick field goals. We were creating turnovers, the max pick, some 3-and-outs, put them in a lot of 4th and long situations. The defense did their thing, but we should have won that ball game. And once again, I'm not going to talk too much about the Bears game because I don't want to get back to being depressed, as I've been all week long about this damn loss. Well, not all week long, the last couple of days. You see that I didn't go live yesterday. I really had nothing in me to give in terms of breaking down that Chicago and Raiders game at Allegiant Stadium. But OJ, I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit on the Brennan Carroll hate train. I am not going to beat him up too much. I'm putting the majority of the blame here on Pete Carroll, on Geno Smith, of course. And then you got to put some on Chip Kelly as well for some of that conservative play calling there against the Chicago Bears on the offensive side of the football. So Brennan Carroll, man, they put JPJ back in at right guard, and that offensive line looked totally different. Who would have thought that JPJ would be our second best defensive player on this team as an offensive lineman, you guys? It looks like JPJ is literally like our second best defensive player. Every time that ball was picked off, where was JPJ? Bing! Knocking dudes on their asses, putting people in their back pockets. JPJ is a stud, and this is the guy that has to compete with Alice Kappa. Nasty, disgusting work. Let me see. Stone Forsythe was on the streets after Brandon Parker got signed. Just think on that, boys. Why'd you have to put that out there, brother? Salute to my brother Hug D's in the building as well. Low Tone, nothing yet. I know that he's on the IR. I believe he can be activated after 4 or 5 weeks. But Low Tone, don't expect Aiden O'Connell to be suited up in the silver and black ever again. This is just me saying this because, once again, they moved a draft pick to go get Kenny Pickett. He is the backup now. They brought Cam Miller back, to be on the practice squad so they can develop him, our 6th-round guy. don't expect, I personally don't expect them to carry forward. I think AOC will be on the streets here soon. I think once, he's off the IR, they'll end up moving on from him. Maybe try and trade him if possible. Probably won't be able to. So I expect them to cut him here soon. I could be wrong. And, I'm rooting for Aiden O'Connell. He had a brutal offseason, brutal preseason. He looked really bad out there. It just looks like he doesn't truly fit in this offense under Chip Kelly. And really, realistically, if Geno's getting sacked a million times already this year, can you imagine what Aiden O'Connell will look like out there with no mobility? The pocket collapses and Aiden is crumbling. There's just no way. I just don't see him. I don't see the fit here in this offense. So Trip says, season is over if we lose in Indy, man. Look, I'm not here to be pessimistic, Trip. You know what I mean? But honestly, we're 1-3 now. The season's far from over, but honestly, I think the writing is on the wall here. I don't expect Geno. I expect the roller coaster with Geno to continue. I expect him to have some big games. I'm expecting him to have some terrible ass games, some mid games. Look, you can't win football games when your quarterback is not playing good football. Simple and plain. I don't expect anything to change. 7 picks in the first, 4 weeks, 2 games, 3 picks apiece, Chargers. And then this past week against Chicago, I don't see Geno Smith. And I know everybody else is saying he's going to get better. And, it's funny, salute to my guy, Dylan, man. I sent Dylan Loudby a text the other day and salute to him. And I don't want to put our business on Front Street, but he said nothing bad. I just said, let me read this real quick because Dylan's such a good dude. I just hit him up and I said, hey, man, I said, let me read this real quick. I said, proud of you, brother. Keep grinding. He said, frustrating. We had that win. I'm sorry, man. I wish I could have did more. And I said, bro, you put us in a position to win that game. Geno has to do better. You are a special teams demon. More opportunities are on the way. Thank you, Graphk. Means a lot. Geno will fix it. I'm not worried. The man is a leader. Now, everybody is saying this. Everybody's saying that Geno's going to fix it. And this is no disrespect to Dylan or anybody else that is preaching the same thing. I just don't see it. I mean, this guy had 15 picks last year in Seattle, right? Didn't he lead the league in picks last year, 20 to 15, I believe? I mean, this is who Geno is. So at the end of the day, man, I don't truly see us winning a ton of games unless we really, really commit to the run. If we can commit to the run, that offensive line can hold up while Colton Miller is out for the next month. And that's a big, big task for Stone Forsythe and company to go out there and hold it down. But if we can commit to the run game, and once again, Jeanty had 21 carries this past week. If you can get him that many carries consistently on a weekly basis, get Raheem Mostert more reps. It looks as though Pete said, which it just kills me, right? I think we're going to see Raheem Mostert out there a little bit more. I think that he earned some more reps. What are we talking about? What the hell are we talking about? But commit to the run. Commit to the run because Geno is seeing ghosts out there. He's missed open wide receivers. I think I seen some stat online about Trey Tucker having 6 yards of separation. Like this past week, he was open a ton and Geno just could not find him, which is nasty. 6 yards of separation. That's insanity. And you couldn't find him. The Dante Thornton underthrow there at the in that goal line situation. And Dante knows he has to come down with that. I hit him up as well and said, keep your head up. He's ready to get to Indy and get rolling. You know what I mean? But Geno's just struggling. He's struggling. He is struggling. And we need him to show up and show out in order for us to get right. And I'm hoping and praying that Geno can get it right because if not, Trip, this season is definitely going to be over if we find a way to lose to Indy. So to my guy Hug. The Mostert run to the left, JPJ smoked his lineman and flat-backed a linebacker. This is facts. I just got done watching that again this morning. Pretty sure that Bear is still digging himself out of the dirt. Salute to my brother Hug, man. Love you, bro. Yes, this is facts. I just got done watching that again on Twitter today. JPJ, absolute stud, man. Relentless motor. It's funny because JPJ is literally the Max Crosby of the offensive side of the football. Literally, he'll get rid of those, he didn't have any penalties this week, and he's had a history of these past, let me say last season and this season as well with penalties. Once he gets those down and limits those, he is going to be the Max Crosby of the offense. The relentless motor. He just never stops. If there's a turnover, he's first to get to the defender to bring him down. You guys, I don't see a Jimmy in the comment section. If we have any mods, can you please get rid of him? I don't see a Jimmy in the comment section. Pause if necessary. I don't see. Yeah, I don't see. I don't see one. So hopefully somebody already shot him down. But yeah, JPJ is only going to get better, and keep him on a football field. Just stay healthy, JPJ. Don't go out there and do anything unnecessary with your helmet in practice in terms of those concussions, man. We need you on the football field, man. You see the difference, between that offensive line with JPJ out there starting, for sure. So let me see. Hafi, Graphk, what would you do? 2026 first overall pick, get a quarterback or trade it for 3 first? You get your quarterback, Hafi. I mean, I don't think that honestly anybody's going to trade 3 first-round picks. I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't even know where we're going to be drafting. That really depends on that. But this is a deep class. I love Sellers. Drew Alar's out there. There's a few other guys. Newsom Warrior. I always butcher his name, the LSU cat. This upcoming draft, and I don't want to talk too much about it because we're literally just getting through the first quarter of the season. I'm getting my quarterback. I know we can use some offensive line help. I know we can use another corner. It's going to be interesting to see what talent is on the board whenever we're drafting. But if we are in a situation where we can get our quarterback of the future, you can't pass that up. It has been forever since we've gotten a quarterback in the first round, since Jamarcus High Stakes Russell, you guys. If we are in a situation where we can take a quarterback, the last time we've done it was the second round with DC out of Fresno State back in 2014. So we need to get our quarterback of the future because it's clear that Geno Smith is not the guy. It's clear that Kenny Pickett is a journeyman at this point, and it's clear that Cam Miller is not ready to go to be your future. So at the end of the day, if you have a really, really good top 10, top 5 pick, use that and get your quarterback. Let me see. I don't see him. I don't see him. Oh, okay. I don't really care, bro. I don't really. Okay, he's gone. There we go. All right. Yo, Graphk, is there blame for the quarterback coach, Greg Olsen? No. What is Ali supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? He's not making Geno Smith make these throws. Honestly, let me get this dude out of here, too. We're not doing the whole trolling over and over and over spam shit. We're not doing that. So, Charles Lewis, boom, 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 boom. You are out of here. But you can't blame any of this on Greg Olsen. What you expect him to do? This Geno Smith is Geno Smith at this point. What is he supposed to do at 34 years old? Work on his mechanics? Try to figure out how to get his accuracy back on point? Try to develop him at 34 years old to go through his progressions and stop staring down his wide receivers? No. He's 34 years old. That's like Greg Olsen coming from the Rams with Matthew Stafford. Like at that point in his career, Matthew Stafford is who Matthew Stafford is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's much better than Geno Smith. This is not me knocking Matthew Stafford. I'm just saying that he's went from back-to-back situations where he's had veteran quarterbacks. There's only so much that you can do there. So, salute to my guy. Graphk, here are my early college football quarterback rankings for the Raiders. Fernando Mendoza, interesting. I'm seeing a lot of people like him. Mayaba, I always butcher his name, the kid out of Arizona. Mateer, I'm starting to see his name rise up a ton of draft boards as well. Oklahoma State, right? No, Oklahoma, I believe. Sellers, Dante Moore, and Sellers may not come out this year. I think Sellers is going to come out. I do. I think that he's going to enter the draft and take advantage of the stock that he has right now. I really do believe that he's going to be a star at the next level. He just needs someone that can develop him. I would love to watch him with Greg Olsen and Chip Kelly. I think that he would fit that offense to a T. I truly do. I truly do. So Sellers is my early favorite quarterback in this year's draft class, honestly. And if you can somehow, some way unlock Drew Allar, you just can't teach those measurables. You know, the arm strength. Does he make questionable throws? Definitely. And that, you know, you can coach him and develop him and get him right. But I just think that there's gonna be a lot of guys. Carson Beck looks good out there in Miami, man. He does. He does. I'm not saying to get him, you know, but once again, this is going to be an interesting class, you know, come next year. Definitely. Let me see. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But Indianapolis, you guys, we're going to be out there in Indy. I'll be there live with Stu, B, and Jason and all my guys. I know LV Maximus, salute to my bro, will be out there. There's going to be a ton of guys out there. We are going to be facing the best running back in football here, you guys. Jonathan Taylor is running all over the place early on this season. I mean, it's kind of crazy. You know, they run the football a lot, and they've kind of limited, you know, Daniel Jones with his legs in a sense because of, you know, them having Jonathan Taylor be kind of a security blanket at the running back position, because Daniel Jones has had to utilize his legs a ton with those, you know, with that bad offensive line with the Giants. He's kind of been, you know, just handing the rock off. 77 carries for Jonathan Taylor already. Second in the league right now. He has 414 yards on the ground. He is number one, numero uno in football in rushing yards. 3 touchdowns, tied for 6th in the NFL. He's averaging 5.4 a clip right now. So we definitely need to keep this guy under wraps. He's coming off of a okay performance against the Rams. They have a really good defense out there in LA. 17 attempts, 76 yards, average 4.5 a clip. We have to find a way to neutralize Jonathan Taylor and force Daniel Jones to create to create some turnovers here. Because look, everybody is really giving Daniel Jones a ton of flowers, you know, early on. And definitely, I understand it. I get it. You know, he had an up and down career with the Giants, right? And then, you know, went to the, where was he last year? The Vikings, I believe. You know, he's on his 3rd team, 4th team right now. But, you know, he's 3rd in the league right now in passing yards, over 1,000 yards passing. He's looked really good out there in that department. He only has 4 touchdowns, so he's nowhere near the top of the league in terms of getting into the end zone. When you have Jonathan Taylor, you know, I guess you just don't have to throw the football that much, right? He has 2 picks, and he has a great QBR, you guys. He's number 1 in football right now with a 79.7 QBR in football. So the O-line's been holding up for him. They have not been, you know, asking him to run the football a ton. I don't believe he has a ton of yards right now. He probably only has like maybe 50, 60 yards on the ground collectively in these first 4 weeks. So, yeah, man, Daniel Jones, they're utilizing him more as a passer and less as Vanilla Vic, like the Giants did. So we have to find a way to keep Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor in check. And once again, the defense for Indianapolis is interesting because their total defense so far, they're number 7 in total defense. They're allowing 272.3 yards a game. 7 touchdowns allowed. My apologies. This entire season thus far. In passing defense, they're 8, only allowing 178.3 a game. They've given up 5 touchdowns in a passing game. And then you get to the rushing defense. Once again, they're number 7. So they're top 10 in both these major categories. They've only given up 94 yards a game on the ground. Only 2 rushing touchdowns allowed. We got to get Jeanty rolling. We got to change that this upcoming Sunday against the Colts there at Lucas Oil Stadium. Scoring defense, once again, they're a top 10 defense. They're only allowing 18.7 a clip, 18.7 a game, and 7 touchdowns as a whole this season so far. The red zone defense, like I said before, is the worst. It's the bottom of the barrel, number 32. We got to find ourselves, you know, in the red zone in some goal line situations right now, because it looks as though the Colts are struggling there. And mind you, I haven't done my homework in terms of how much teams have been in the red zone against the Colts, but I'm only going off of what they have done thus far and what I'm seeing. 32nd in the league in red zone defense. So we got to find ourselves in the red zone a lot more and take advantage of that. And then third down defense, once again, they're 21 They're giving it up. They're giving up third down conversions at a 42.4% clip. So they're not the best third down defense. So we have to take advantage of those third downs as well. So a few keys for this game, you guys, that I want to see. And once again, man, salute to everybody here in the building. It's funny because Carroll talked about this at his presser yesterday. I want to see Jack Bech more involved in this offense. Why has his reps been so limited? If the majority of these footballs in the passing game are going to Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers, and Brock Bowers, why can you not find Jack Bech, a guy that you spent a second-round pick on? That is a very, very, very high draft pick right now. We're not utilizing him. He's pretty much been relegated to special teams at this point. He is a special talent. You have to find a way to get him more involved. Pete said that they're going to do that. He deserves more reps and so on and so forth. Blase, blah. We've heard this shit before. But you got to get him out there and you got to get him more reps. Yeah, Zach, Pete said Jack is going to get more reps in the presser this week. He said it's already been addressed. I'll believe it when I see it. This guy, I'm telling you once again, you guys, I watched him at TCU. I watched his limited time at LSU as a tight end. The guy loves to catch the football in traffic. He loves, he's a great route runner. He loves to block. This is a guy that can do it all. He's a jack of all trades at the wide receiver position. I just don't understand how you can't see that. Okay, you're staring down these receivers. They're only looking at really three people. I mean, how many reps is Thornton getting in the game? They're only looking at him a few times a game. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, get somebody else involved. You took Dante in the 4th round. You invested a very high draft pick in Jack Bech. You need to find a way to get him more involved in this offense. Simple and plain. I'm telling you now, you guys, once Bech takes off, he is going to be a fan favorite. I'm telling you guys right now, he's going to be a fan favorite. We have not seen what this kid can do. He is very, very good. Very good. He can do it all. I'm telling you now. He's not going to be that guy that's going to go out there and get you 1,500 yards, receiving a season. That's not who he is. 1,300, 12. He's a guy that, if you feed him, he can average over 1,000 a clip per season. You just have to get him involved in the offense. And how do you expect him to get rolling and get that motor going if you're not utilizing him in the passing game? You have to find a way to get him to football. Simple and plain. So I'm expecting, hopefully, Pete Carroll and company to get Jack Bech more involved in the offense. Once again, Geno has struggled, the past few weeks with the deep ball. Him and Dante, that rapport has kind of just went back downhill. We need to find ways to eat up the middle of the football field. And guess what? That's where Jack Bech gets involved. Geno's threw some footballs in some tight windows. Some has paid off and most of them have not. But I've seen a few hospital balls from Geno as well. But guess what? Jack Bech will go catch those. Bech will put his body on the line for those kind of plays. Trust me. Hospital balls, Bech will put his body on the line for those. I've seen it. He prefers it. Eat the middle of the football field up. Get Bech involved. I'm hoping and praying that Mayer is back activated. They've been monitoring him all week, with that concussion that he sustained against the Commanders. Salute to my guy, Michael Mayer, man. I'm hoping that he's back out there this upcoming week. But, yeah, man, you got to find a way to utilize Jack Bech. You cannot waste a 2nd-round pick on a guy and not utilize him. It's just kind of crazy to me how limited they have not utilized him at all. Yeah, and he can block downfield. This is facts, man. And he's a special teams demon. You have to find a way to utilize him, man. Victor Graphk, I agree. Bech should be running with the short routes. I'm not a fan. Look, I love Thornton. But once again, you have to keep defenses honest. You can't just go out there and expect to spread the football field and just throw the deep ball when you're not taking advantage of, the short intermediate, like you have to dink and dunk here and there to take a shot. You can't just go out there and just let that bitch fly. You have to keep defenses honest. You know what I mean? Like, and right now, honestly, with Dante, and this is no knock because I love Dante. Look, this has nothing to do with him, but one side of the field is pretty much locked down. It is. I think that's kind of why he's staring down his receivers, Trey Tucker, Jacoby. Like, one side of the football field is pretty much, defenses aren't really, all they're looking at Dante right now is a cheap deep shot or two here and there once in a blue moon. And they're ready for it. Geno's just been throwing them up and hoping that Dante can go up and make nothing out of something, or something out of nothing. My apologies. Zach, and this is facts, Trey Tucker has been open a ton. Once again, I just seen a stat online where he averaged 6 yards of separation this past week. He was open a ton, and Geno cannot find him. And guess what? In a clean pocket, where the O-line gave up no sacks and I believe only 1 or 2 pressures all game long. Geno has to do better, man. And I don't want to hear this same fucking song, every fucking week with Geno at these pressers. I have to do better. The turnovers, I don't want to look. I don't want to hear that shit anymore, bro. I don't want to hear it anymore. You got to go out there and clean this shit up this upcoming week. Chip, run the football down the coast throat, bro. Run the football down the coast throat until Geno can prove to everyone that he's not just going to go out there and throw picks over and over. Geno has found ways. This is one of the only quarterbacks that I know throws picks first snap of the game, throws picks in the middle of the game, throws picks at the end of the game. This motherfucker finds ways to throw picks any given time. Tell you one thing, you guys. At least look, at least he's a consistent, right? That man will throw a pick at any given moment. But though, when you see him go out there and throw picks at the beginning, like literally the first snap, we're having an issue here. This is disgusting. That Henley pick on the first play on the offensive side of the football, week 2, it's like, what are you, this past week, Byard, like, what the hell are we doing, bro? Like, what the hell is going on? See, everybody put Geno's struggles last year on Seattle. Most people, I can say 80% that I've seen, blame Seattle's situation, the O-line, the running game, blase, blah, blase, blah. That was why he only had 20 and 15 and woo, woo. A ton of that blame was on Seattle. That's all I seen. You give Geno an extension, you reunite him with Pete Carroll, and it looks the exact same. Starting to realize, you guys, Seattle wasn't the fucking problem. It was Geno Smith. It was Geno Smith. It's nasty work. Yeah, Tommy, and you know what's funny? I see a ton of people out there making excuses saying that, cover zero and disguises and blah. Man, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit at all. I don't care about any of that, bro. You were 34 years old, a 2-time Pro Bowler, a most improved player of the year at one point, like 2021, 2022, whatever the hell it was. Bro, you should know better. You mean to tell me at 34 years old, you can't read coverages? You can't read defenses? I don't want to hear that shit. Everybody on Twitter is making excuses. Hey, man, they disguise it. I even see my guy Kirk, love Kirk Morrison, the way that Byard, read this and disguise. Man, look, dog, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it, bro. I don't want to hear it. You're 34 years old. You should be able, you have seen everything, Geno. You have seen everything. Every type of defense has been thrown at you. Your time in Seattle, the Jets, the Giants, where the hell else you were, you have seen every type of coverage. That is just bad football. That is bad football, man. It's terrible football. Once again, that's why I don't get into the whole film breakdown as much as I try. We got into it for a little while, and I'm like, dude, look, I don't want to do this shit, bro. Like, football is football. Let's simplify things here, okay? We don't need to say, oh, well, this and this and this. No, bro, we know what we're seeing. We're seeing Geno Smith at 34 years old, a veteran who's been in this league for a long time, making mistake after mistake after mistake. I don't care about what kind of disguises or cover 6 or Tampa 2 or, they were in cover 0. I don't care about any of that. They, they fake the pressure but I don't care about none of that. Geno is 34 years old, you guys. If this was Cam Miller out there, okay, then we can have a conversation. We could be like, you know what? He's young. He's still trying to figure out this thing. He's going to go through his bumps and bruises. Not making any excuses up for Geno Smith, man. I'm just not. Look, much love to the Chicago defense. They went out there and created 3 turnovers. But also, I'm sticking to my guns here. I don't care what disguise or what coverage they dropped into. Those were gimmies, bro. They were gimmies. Simple and plain, bro. If you ask Chicago, there wasn't a lot of work involved on those 3 turnovers. Simple and plain. I don't care. Once again, Tampa 2, cover 6, cover 0. I don't give a shit about none of that. None of that. Nasty, nasty work. Disgusting work. Geno knows better. And hopefully, pray to God, man. Pray to God he improves. But honestly, you guys, I personally just don't see it. And I'm expecting the same kind of football for the rest of the year. And I'm hoping at some point, if this continues, that, you know, Pete Carroll and company, you know, have the balls to sit him down. Sit him down. Simple and plain. I'll deal with Scary Movie, My Germs, Small Hand, Kenny Pickett over this situation, because at least I know that Pickett's not going to throw it. At least I know I don't have to hold my breath every single time Kenny Pickett throws the football. And he's had his share of picks at the NFL level as well. I'm not going to act as though Kenny Pickett is a stud, because I'm not a fan of Kenny Pickett. But at this point, my anxiety is on 10 every time Geno Smith drops back to throw the football. So if we got to make a move, we got to make a move. If this continues, you have to make a move. Simple and plain. And once again, I said on the show the other day, you know, hopefully if Pete is stuck in his ways, and let's just say Geno has 10 picks, you know, by the time 5 or 6 weeks are up, I'm hoping and praying that Spytech and Tom Brady pull rank and say, look, yo, this ain't working. This ain't working. You're going to have to sit him, or we're going to have to move. We're going to have to figure something else out, because once again, you can't die on that sword, bro. The one thing that I hate is the defense performing at a high clip, the run game performing at a high clip, and your quarterback losing you football games. I can't live with that. I can't live with that. When your defense is performing the way they did last week, and your ground game is rolling, and Jeanty, you know, goes out there and cooks, you know, has a career game with 138 on the ground, has 3 touchdowns on 21 carries, and two touchdowns in the passing game. That's nasty work. Like, that doesn't only look, Geno's not the only one affected by this. The defense, just like Rusty said, it destroys the morale. It's like, are we going out here and playing at a high clip for nothing? Like, are you going to give us anything in return? You can't continue to put us out here, you know, over and over and over again in our own 20-yard line, our own 30-yard line, our own 40-yard line, and expect us to go out here and win football games for you. Sorry, you guys. I love Max Crosby. He's not going to get he's not going to get 10 picks a season. That was an anomaly this past week. Max was doing everything to try and win that football game. It's not going to happen every week. So what happens when Max is not doing that? Geno, you need to step up. Simple and plain. Simple and plain. Not once this season up to this point has Geno done enough to win us a football game. Even week 1, yeah, you know, he padded those stats, had a ton of passing yards. I think he only had, what, was it 1 touchdown and 1 pick? Or was it 2 and 1? I forgot. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. But the defense performed really, really well in New England. He hasn't done anything up to this point where it feels like Geno went out there and won us a game. Yeah, Zach, 1-1. 1-1. Rusty says, why not put in Pickett? Can he do any worse? Why do we wait to pull the plug when most teams would have sat him by now? You know what, Rusty? Most teams wouldn't have. Honestly, they wouldn't have. I think we're just kind of being emotional here, including myself, most importantly myself, because of how bad Geno was played. I don't think many teams would give up on their quarterback this quick unless you have a guy waiting in the wings, right? Like the Giants, they were kind of just like, Russ is just let him struggle. Let him struggle. Let me say this also. The Giants situation is different because their general manager and their head coach, Brian DeBall, they're on the hot seat. That bitch is burning up. So they were hoping that Jackson Dart was up to standard so they can sit Russ's ass down and go in that direction. What do? They put Jackson Dart in. They win a football game against a team that they shouldn't have won. They lose Malik Neighbors. But I digress. But this isn't that situation because, honestly, Kenny Pickett, you know who he is. The only guy on this team at the quarterback position who we really don't know what he has yet. He struggled in preseason, Cam Miller, outside of that first game. We don't have a guy that is waiting in the wings right now. And that's why I was so – when I seen that we got Geno Smith, I just knew. I was like, okay, now we're not going to get a quarterback early. And that stung. I wanted a quarterback early. I wanted one early. In those first 2 rounds, go get me a quarterback. I love that we got Jeanty at 6. I can live with that. But I still believe that you should have, regardless if you move back up into the first or whatever. And you guys know I'm not a big Jackson Dart guy at all. But if they would have got him, cool, whatever. You have your guy of the future, apparently. I'm not the biggest Jackson Dart fan. It just is what it is. But I would have loved to get a quarterback there, at least because we know somebody's waiting. Somebody's waiting. There's no pressure here, you guys. There's no pressure here. You have Geno Smith. You just gave him an extension. You have a journeyman in Kenny Pickett coming off of, I believe, and the reason why they moved on from him, he had a hamstring injury and he lost the QB1 spot to Flacco, right? There's no pressure here. There is none. There is none. Once again, and for Pete or Geno, there's no pressure. So, salute to my guy Rusty, man. Salute to 1,000 people here in the building, you guys. Get those likes up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, what are you waiting on? Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Paper Chase, great. Graphk, do we just blow this whole thing up if we go 2-6? No. Paper Chase, you know why? Because now you have to live with what you have done. You know the best time to blow it up, Paper Chase? You know the best time to do that was? It was when they benched Derek Carr in Pittsburgh. That was the best time to blow this whole shit up. You know, this is, again, and I said this on the show the other day, this is why I wanted a young head coach, you guys, a guy that would go get his guy and develop his guy at the quarterback position. We've had guys in recent memory, Gruden, that wants to come in and win now, knowing we don't have the roster to do so. Josh McDaniels coming in, winning a ton of championships as an OC with the Patriots, struggled as a head coach in Denver, wanted to prove to the NFL that he can do it, didn't do it. You bring in all these veteran guys, Jack Del Rio, which was great because DC was phenomenal in 2016. But this is why I wanted a young head coach. I wanted a young guy that can come in, find his guy in the draft, develop him, and move on. If we were going to blow this shit up, it should have been after that Pittsburgh game when you literally benched Derek Carr. We should have moved on from everything. Mark should have got rid of Josh McDaniels. Like everything should have just been, and later on down the line, it happened, right? But I'm just saying we should have blew it up at that point. At that point. Now, how do you blow it up? How do you blow it up? You just paid Geno. You extended him, okay? Love Max, that's my guy. You never move him unless he is forcing your hand to get out of Vegas, which I don't think will ever happen. But you just paid him. I mean, honestly, and realistically, you guys, I don't want to sound like an asshole. What are we blowing up? What are we blowing up? We have the oldest head coach in football. We have up to this point, right? And I like Chip Kelly. Up to this point, we have an overpaid OC who was getting paid $6 million per year to put this product out on the football field. We're kind of stuck right now. Like, what do you blow up? All we can hope right now is that Brock gets healthy and he continues to be the best tight end in football. Jeanty becomes a top 3 running back, and this O-line slowly but surely gets better. JPJ can stay healthy, continue to develop. You know what I mean? Like, right now, I'm looking at 1-3, you guys. Like, there's still a ton of time here left. I mean, I've seen Pete Carroll win his division at 7-9 with the Seattle Seahawks. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen it, right? Like, things can happen here. But what are the odds? Your star left tackle, Colt Miller, high ankle sprain. He's gone for a while. You know, you got Stone Forsythe starting at left tackle. This is going to be a tough road to endure, you guys. Just strap up. Telling y'all now, man. Strap up. Put your seatbelts on, man. It's going to be a bumpy-ass ride, man. Bumpy-ass ride. But I'll tell you this. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself. If we lose to the Titans, oh my God, bro. I'm telling you now, if we lose to that football team at home, salute to Snake Fist. Greetings, Graphk and Nation. Oaktown in the house. Write this shit. Salute to my guy, Snake Fist, man. Appreciate you on the $5 smackaroonie, man. Let me see. He said we lost to the Panthers. Yeah, we lost, but we had AP as your head coach. You had Gardner Minshew at the quarterback position. You had Zamir White as your starting running back. Like, you don't have the luxury of doing that this year with Geno Smith, a two-time Pro Bowl quarterback, Ashton Jeanty at the running back position, and Pete Carroll, a guy with that resume. It's a totally different football team. You know what I mean? So look, yeah, we lost to Carolina last year. We had a terrible football team. Like that second week win against Baltimore in a row was an anomaly. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't happen a lot with that roster that we had out there. So, but I'm telling you now, if they find a way to lose that game, we can just go ahead and pack this shit up. And I think that at that point, there has to be some talks within that building about moving on from some particular players, some particular coaches. At that point, heads need to roll, bro. Simple and plain. Salute to my guy, Just Raiders, baby. If Geno doesn't improve in the next 3 games, we need to sit his ass. Hate to say it, but put Kenny in after the bye. Can't have Geno throwing 30 picks for this. This is facts, bro. He's looking very J-Mo right now. Very J-Mo-ish. Very Winston-ish. This is facts. Facts plus tax, man. Salute to my guy. Yeah, man, I love it. I love it. I love to see Jack punch that ball out at the goal line. I love to see Darren Waller go out there and I might talk shit about Wall because of the some of this stuff that he does off the field. But I love to see former Raiders Waller go out there in his first appearance and get 2 touchdowns. I love that. And I love to see Jack punching that football out. You love to see it. You love to see it, man. I love it. I absolutely do. I think that they're in a bad situation out there in Miami. Those players don't believe in their head coach. Tyreek Hill obliterates his knee yesterday. They're in a really, really tough situation. But I love to see Jack, a former Raider, trying to right his wrongs and get right. And I love to see Wall healthy and out there helping that football team, man. So once a Raider, always a Raider. Like I said, I may talk my shit and have some fun, but I definitely love to see Jack and Waller go out there and cook a little bit. Hey, man, Blazed. You said Jacobs is having a career game. What do you mean? I think you meant Jonathan Taylor, right? That we're facing. But you know what's so crazy, you guys? Think about this. 4 weeks into Ashton Jeanty's career, think about this. He has more passing touchdowns, receiving touchdowns than Josh Jacobs in his entire career. Think about that. Think about that. And I love Josh. This is not taken away from him. All pro. He'll be a future Hall of Famer down the line. This is not me beating up on Josh. I love Josh Jacobs. And I'm rooting for him only when he doesn't play against us. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, yeah. But think about that. Think about that. Jeanty already has more receiving touchdowns than Jacobs in his first 4 weeks of his career. Jeanty's going to be just fine. He'll be okay. He'll be okay. Gonzalez, you're crazy if you think that Josh Jacobs isn't going to be a future Hall of Famer. You're wild. You're wild. All right, man, let's get to some of this talk. We talked about the Indy defense, talked about Daniel Jones, talked about Jonathan Taylor. I want to talk about this situation here real quick, you guys. Tom McMahon has to go. Our special teams coach has to go. I got killed on Twitter before the season came around because I said, why are we keeping this guy around? Why are we keeping Josh McDaniels last? Well, Patrick Graham's still around, but why are we keeping him around? This dude sucks. Dylan has definitely probably helped his case to stick around because Dylan is out there returning the football, and doing great things. Put us in play, this past week to win that game. And, once again, terrible play calling by Chip there, 3rd and 2, running Jeanty there. You shouldn't have did that. We could have won that football game. But Tom McMahon has to go, you guys. And it's fucking crazy to see that yesterday. Who was it? Was it Josh Blackwell, I believe? He's the guy that plays for the Chicago Bears, you guys. And he talked about the situation with those 38 seconds left in the game, about what they seen out there, okay, in the tape that they had watched all week long on this special teams and the long snapper, okay? This is what he had to say. Like, everybody stayed in it and believed in it. And throughout the week, Scott Daly had given us a little tip with the snapper. This is what Blackwell said. He would move the ball right before he would snap it. In the first two, we got really good jumps. I'm like, I'm close. I'm going to get one. He told Richard Hightower, the special teams head coach, was like, we got to get this kick blocked, and I got a good jump, okay? So imagine this, you guys. Imagine a Chicago Bears defense that have just studied this team for a week. I mean, they haven't been studying this Raiders football team all year long. You know, usually you get a week to study your opponent. If you're doing that, how does Tom McMahon how do you not see this shit? How do you not see this shit? If they had a week to study this team, how does Tom McMahon not see a very intricate piece of your special teams? How do you not see that? That is bananas, bro. That is bananas. All off season, 4 weeks in. Last week, the Commanders absolutely cooked us in the special team. Debo had like a 69-yard return. For a while there, he had Zamir White returning kicks. Zamir White. When you have Trey Tucker, Raheem Mostert, and you have Dylan Laube on your team. Shit, even Dante Thornton, a speedster. You have Zamir White out there returning kicks. It took for this team to make him inactive, to look in a different direction. It's just nasty. It's just nasty. I don't understand how you don't see that. And Chicago has a few days of prep and they figure you out. I don't really want to talk too much about that situation, you guys. All I'm going to say is this. Tom McMahon got to go. Tom McMahon has to go. And once again, I've said this on previous shows. Salute to my brother, Marquette King. I got to catch up with my guy. I got to call him today. He's been out there in Japan doing his thing and doing his music. Salute to my guy out there doing some big things. But he told me behind the scenes about Tom McMahon and their time together in Denver and how terrible he was as a special teams coach. He said he was the worst special teams coach that he's ever had coach him. Like, terrible. And look what happens. We lose a football game. Once again, though, it shouldn't have came down to that one play. Geno definitely buried us. Chip Kelly definitely buried us on the 3rd and 2, running Ashton Jeanty in that situation and expecting Carlson to go out there and win with a, 52, 54-yarder? But if any coach has to go right now, I don't want to jump the gun here because, once again, we're only 4 weeks in. You know, if anybody has to go, he has to go. This special teams unit has been bad, struggling to tackle. It seems as though, you guys, every return that we have, am I wrong here? Every return we get, 10 yards back. It's a hold. It's this, and every time Raheem Mostert was out there returning, it felt like we're getting rolling. We're getting rolling. Penalty. Every single time. And I haven't looked to see how many, but it felt like every single time Raheem Mostert was returning kicks, there was a hold. Setting us back another 10 yards. Every single time. Every single time. At what point do you say, hey, Tom McMahon, bro, what are you teaching these guys? What are you teaching these guys? We can't get any momentum going. Raheem Mostert gets up excited. We're at the 30, 35, wherever the hell we are. You can't gain any momentum doing that. hold, giving up a big kick, block kicks. Yeah, John. Salute to my guy, John. That happened 3 times in a row. At this point, I expect it. Like if we don't get a hold on a return, I damn near am celebrating. Because it seems as though every single time they're out there, it's coming back. It's coming back. Not only is there no discipline on special teams, not only are you giving up big plays, not only are you getting, blocked field goals at the end of the game and once again, I said this before, you guys, that defense had a great performance. But as a Raider fan, look, I'm not going to act as though we couldn't have won that game. But I think Chicago had 2 or 3 timeouts left at the end of the game. It would have been 38 seconds, somewhere like that. And all they would have needed was a field goal there to win that game. Knowing us, knowing that special teams unit, you probably go out there, kick the ball off, and Chicago gets it to the 50-yard line immediately. And you end up losing that game anyway. That's why I would have preferred to pass the football in 3rd and 2. And y'all might think I'm crazy. Instead of Carlson kicking the 54-yarder, damn near better off going for it. Damn near better off going for it in that situation. You need 2 yards. You got 2 chances to kill some more of that clock and go out there and get closer and closer and closer and just not allow Chicago to see the ball once again. But, it is what it is. Nasty work. Salute to my guy, Larry DM, man. Appreciate you, brother. Salute to you on the $10 special. This coaching staff has me feeling weird. Special teams, gaslighting about Kappa and JPJ should be a competition. Jeanty's running stance. I'm just a fan on my couch, though. We see it. We see it. But once again, it's difficult to question a ton that's going on because of Pete Carroll's track record, right? It's easy to beat up on AP because he's never been there before. It's first-time head coach, game management. You're like, what the hell are we doing? You can't run the football. The defense is doing this and doing that. It's easy to be like, man, bro, what the hell? Matt Shelton was a terrible game management, coordinator. Once again, AP, first-time head coach. With Pete, it's like, we trust him. We trust him. And it's like, dude, but it's simple as shit. Once again, the JPJ thing. Why are you not playing him? Why are you playing Zamir White over Raheem Mostert? Why does it take week 4 to say, you know what, maybe we should get our 2nd round wide receiver, Jack Bech, more involved in the offense? Why does it take up until week 4 where you're 1-3 to say, maybe Raheem Mostert deserves more reps over Zamir White, who's never been great at the NFL level ever? At the end of the season 2 years ago, he had a nice little run, nice little 4 or 5 game run when Josh Jacobs went down. This is Pete. This is why we're all upset right now, you guys. This is why we're pissed off, because it's easy to blame AP. It's easy. Look, even Josh McDaniels, because he was a terrible head coach with Denver, right? It's easy to blame him. We got Pete in the building who's won a national championship, won a Super Bowl as a head coach, not an offensive coordinator, a head coach. That's why we're like, what the hell is going on? It's simple mathematics. And that's why I'm confused as to what some of the thought process, what they got going on sometimes with this regime. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Raheem Mostert is clearly a better running back than Zamir White, and clearly a better kick returner. So why is Zamir White out there starting or playing over Raheem Mostert and returning kicks over him? JPJ is clearly a better right guard than Alex Kappa at this point in his career. Simple mathematics. Start one, don't. The concussion, I get it. You take him out for a week, but guess what? You bring him right back in against the Commanders. You want to see some continuity, you said? Put JPJ back out there. He started for you week 1. Started for you out there week 2, right? Wait, was it week 2? Because Kappa played week 3. JPJ didn't play that week. You want continuity? Keep playing JPJ. Javi, that is still going on, brother. We have no clue what is going on right now with the whole Christian Wilkins cap space situation. I've been looking around trying to get any up. There's nothing in terms of that. And they said it was going to be a lengthy battle in terms of the Raiders trying to get that money back and Christian and his representation trying to get there, get theirs. But it's going to be a lengthy battle. So don't expect anything to change anytime soon. I really, truly have no updates for that. I don't know anything in terms of the Christian Wilkins situation. But I will say this. It's been very quiet on that front. So-called, there was a few teams out there that were interested in bringing in Christian Wilkins. And I don't find it a coincidence now that it's been very quiet on that situation, very quiet on that front. I believe he was hurt. I believe that he wanted to play through it and he didn't want to get that surgery. And the Raiders were smart to do what they did. And now Christian Wilkins is sitting at home and trying to figure it out. So wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up if you guys are not subscribed yet, man. What are y'all waiting on? Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Salute to you guys, man. Go over 1,000 people in the building. We're going to end this month on a solid note, man. Thank you guys so much for being here once again. Get those likes up, and once again, hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. Salute to Pace. If our running game is solved and the defense keep playing like this and Geno stands on business, why are we so down in the season? Great run D, 3-4 games, and kept allowing field goals on short fields. Don't think Forsythe sticks. I hope he doesn't, because he's just not good, Pace. And once again, I'm not, bro, look, once again, the expectations were at the highest, right? Maybe you're fighting for a wild card spot. The bare minimum, you were thinking 7-8 wins here, right? So look, we're still very much on par to continue to win a few games here. I don't, honestly, with Stone Forsythe there and Colton out and Geno playing the way he's playing, I don't see it. But can it happen? It definitely can. But I don't see Geno getting better. I don't. This just looks like, what is the analogy I'm trying to use here, you guys? It's kind of like, in baseball, when a batter is just struggling, he is just struggling. He cannot get it going. Strikeout, just whatever the hell, you know what I'm saying? Like it just slumping like crazy. And sometimes that shit lasts an entire season. Like, honestly, like this to me looks like a slump that he may not be able to get out of. I'm telling you, like, I've not seen enough to think that Geno can play better than this. And I hope he proves me wrong. I'm praying, because I want to win some ball games. But this just looks like a hitting slump that I don't know if he can find a way to get out of. If you're looking like this in this system, mind you, too, I want to say this. I believe there was a story that dropped, you guys, about Chip Kelly wanting Geno to play for him at the collegiate level. He was recruiting him, so on and so forth. Also, Jeremiah Smith, Geno Smith's cousin, played for Ohio State, won a national championship with Chip Kelly out there. Geno was out there wearing the Ohio State jersey, so on and so forth, right? Like, he's very familiar with Chip Kelly. He got a whole off season to try and get this offense together, and figure out the ins and outs of what is going on here. He's very familiar with Chip Kelly. There's no excuses here. You have a great young running back in Ashton Jeanty that's just about to start getting, get those wheels turning. And once again, what did I say, you guys? What did I say? I'm not going to say nothing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Everybody, Geno, or not Geno, but Jeanty, man, he's a bust, and he's ass, and we should have got a tackle there, and we should have went in a different situation, and blah blah blah, and he's just not. We made the wrong decision bringing in Ashton Jeanty there at 6. Okay, after a few weeks, look at this shit, man. Look at this shit. One big game, and he's a top 10 rusher in football. Over Jordan Mason, over Jahmyr Gibbs in Detroit. He's only 2 yards behind Derrick Henry. 2 yards behind Derrick Henry right now. He's also really, truly one big game away from being potentially a top 5 rusher in football. It's 20 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards away from Javonte Williams. What did I say? I put this out there a while ago one big game away from being a top 10 rusher. Following week, what happens? Boom. Ashton Jeanty is right there in the thick of things, and he's on the outside looking in as a top 5 rusher in football. But everybody wants to tweak out. Everybody wants to call him a bust. Everybody wants to say this and say that, running behind that terrible O-line. And then the O-line gets their shit together for 1 week, and Ashton Jeanty goes out there and shows you exactly who he truly is, a home run hitter, a guy that can really, really, really get it done at a high clip, a guy that put up 3 touchdowns, 138 on the ground. And what did he put up in the passing game? He had 2 touchdowns in the passing game as well. I'm not going to act as though he went out there and was a mountain mover, you know what I'm saying, in the passing game, but he had 17 yards and 2 touchdowns on 2 targets. So honestly, I mean, shit, he averaged 8.5 a clip in the passing game. Y'all got to chill out sometimes on this shit, man. You know, like stop giving up on players a few weeks into their young careers. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can get on Pete Carroll because he's been around for fucking 50, 60 years at this point. We can get on Geno Smith because he's 34 years old and he's an NFL journeyman and he's been there and done that. We can get on, and once again, you guys, if you want to get on Max, I think Max will agree. He's a veteran. If he has a bad game, get on his case. This guy is 4 weeks into his career, and motherfucker was already ready to give up on the kid. Nasty work. Nasty work. Jeanty is a top 10 rusher in football right now, you guys. And he'll probably finish in the top 5 in football once the season is up, if that O-line can hold up the way they did last week. And I know without Colton Miller, it's going to be a tough task. But, you know, even if you just find Jeanty in space in the passing game and get him rolling there, I just want to see that kid productive. And I expect him to be productive moving forward, regardless of who's out there at tackle, even if it's Stone Forsythe's sorry ass. I still believe that Jeanty can go out there and get it done. Yeah. That's cool. Well, this is the thing, though, Hardy, right? Jeanty was, a lot of people, including myself, put the generational tag on him, right? Nobody said that about Jack Bech. Honestly, I had us taking Bech in the 3rd round. Like, if you guys go back and look at my mock drafts, I had Jeanty in the 1st round. I had us taking a corner in the 2nd, and then I had us taking Jack Bech in the 3rd. We traded back, and essentially we still kind of took Bech there in that 3rd round, kind of at the end of the 2nd, right? But you can say really whatever you want about Jack Bech. Like, the thing is, he hasn't had any opportunities. He hasn't had any opportunities. You know, once you give him, you know, some reps and allow him to go out there and really get the wheels turning, he'll show you who he is. But he has to be on a football field to show that he can get it done. So the thing is, once Bech gets those opportunities, he'll show you who he is. And I'm hoping that Pete sticks to what he said and that Bech deserves some looks. Yo, who is that, bro? Is that Coco? Is that Lady Gaga? Who is that, Pete Carroll? Salute to you on a $2 donation. And yes, it's difficult, right, for some people to understand that M'Boue looks really good at tackle right now for the Jets. The 0-4 Jets. The 0-4 Jets, who just lost to the Miami Dolphins last night. Lost to the Miami Dolphins. Yes, M'Boue was looking really, really good at right tackle. Good. I hope that kid succeeds. I hope when he faces Max, whenever that happens, that, you know, Max gets 7 sacks. But good. But 2 things can be true, you guys. M'Boue's playing great, and Jeanty's playing great. Also, you just took a right tackle last season out of Maryland in the 3rd round with DJ Glaze. And yes, he's had his struggles this season, as he should. He's in year 2 of his career. Allow that some time. You just invested a 3rd round pick in the right tackle. I always thought, why take M'Boue there? Like why? Like, why are you taking M'Boue there? It never really made any sense to me. It never really made any sense. But I love that the kid looks really good out there. Definitely. Let me see. Let me catch up on the chat real quick. Salute to my guy Chappie, man. Let's get Jeanty on screens because Geno can't do. Man, we've been asking for that, bro. We've been asking for that, and I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to see if Chip can do some different things and get a little bit more creative over there and limit those turnovers with Geno Smith. I would love it. You want to get Jeanty in space? Chappie, there you go. There you go. With JPJ, his leading blocker, Chappie, would love to see that, right? Get Jeanty, get the screen game going with JPJ as his lead blocker. He's going to kill some people. He's going to kill some people. This week, we definitely need to mix it up, Sam. Definitely need to mix it up on the offensive side of football. Talk smack now that I'm in the room, punks. Salute to Brendan Carroll, man. Hey, brother, I'm the only one that's not shitting on you right now. It's the Tom McMahon party. Now, if Tom McMahon pops in with a $2 holler, man, then we can have a conversation. But, hey, Brendan, salute to you, man. The real Brendan Carroll. Salute to John Chef, my dog. The most disappointing part is if we had a quarterback that was performing at a decent level, we could easily be 3-1. So, Fred, bro, yes. If you had a quarterback that didn't turn the football over, we're 3-1 easily right now. If you take those 6 picks away, we're 3-1. You beat the Chargers at home, and you beat the Bears at home. We'd be 2-0 at Allegiant Stadium right now. 2-0. This would be the week, Geno. Once again, we keep hearing all these indoors. You're an indoor legend. Indoor legend. You've thrown 6 picks and 2 touchdowns thus far indoors. This would be the week to try and get your shit together, man. Would love it. Would love it if we could see this so-called indoors legend. They call him Geno Smith. Would love it. Would love it. And we bragged about it all offseason. Hey, we play a ton of games indoors. We play all our home games there. We got the Colts. We got the Texans. We got, the Chargers. We have a ton of ton of indoor games. Just waiting for you not to throw 3 fucking interceptions every time you have a roof over your head. Could you imagine that, bro? Every time you have a roof over your head, I can only imagine how many picks this motherfucker throws at home. Every time Geno has a roof over his head, you get a pick, you get a pick, you get a pick. His family probably frustrated with him at the crib. Honey, throw me the mayonnaise. Picked. Honey, throw me a roll of toilet paper. Picked. Every time this dude has a roof over his head. Picked. Damn, they want to play and just play outside. If we can get New England, Geno, we might be all right. Yeah, 3 touchdowns against the Commanders and 0 picks. Yeah, I can only imagine what this dude does. But every time he has a roof over his head, bro, it's just nasty, nasty work, bro. Nasty, nasty work. It's disgusting work. Terrible. Salute to everybody here in the building. As always, you guys get those likes up, wipe them feet, and also hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet, man. Let me see. Edgar says, I love my team, but I'm done canceling my plans to sit and watch the game. I feel you, bro. I'm going to tell you right now, man, if this game wasn't free in Indianapolis, I would be nowhere near Indy. Do I need this trip this weekend? Definitely. It's going to be great to hang out with my guys, to be able to see my brother B, to be able to see my brother Stu and my brother Jason and hang out with everybody. It's going to be a blessing. But I'll tell you right now, if these tickets were not free, if they were not given to us, I would not be traveling to Indianapolis this weekend. And this is just facts. This is just facts. Not doing it. I wouldn't pay to watch this product right now. You got to show me these next few weeks that you can actually play some good football. Get us back to 500. How about that? If you guys can go out there and win the next two games, we can get back to 500. Maybe we'll start investing back into the product. I'm acting as though I didn't go to fucking Shields yesterday to try to find an Ashton Jeanty jersey. That's crazy. I'm talking all this shit, you guys, about saving money, and I literally went to go look for an Ashton Jeanty jersey yesterday again, and they were still sold out. Demos is the only Ja Rule can save us. Where's Ja? Yes, we will be doing some shows with Stu, you guys. Stay tuned. This weekend, we'll have maybe at least 2 shows with Stu. B's going to be on the live with us as well. Jason will be there, my guy, Demon King. So we're going to have some fun. We'll be live a ton this weekend with all the guys. So stay tuned for that. So get a few more questions in, you guys, before we get out of here. I got a few things to do around the house. I started the show early because I got a few things I need to do. But salute to Chappie. We spent 1,500 for tickets to Monday Night Football with the boys. Man. I got to be honest, Chappie. If my brother LV Maximus didn't invite me out there, he has season tickets. If he didn't invite me out there to go to that game, I wouldn't be going. I wouldn't be going. If those tickets to Vegas weren't only like $70-$80 on Frontier, I wouldn't be going. And, you know, I'm a cheap bastard, you guys. I'll do the most cold shit in the world. I'll get a $80 ticket on Frontier from Dallas to Vegas, and I'll do Klarna, and I'll pay that shit off in 12 months. I'll be paying like $9, $10, $11 a month to pay off that $80 ticket. I am the cheapest motherfucker you will ever find in life. So, but, you know, when you grow up not having shit, you know, you want to hold on to shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, as I brush my beard. Let me see. Salute to my guy Snake Fist once again. Brennan Carroll came into the chat on fire. If that's really him, it's not. Not answering questions in the chat. Definitely not him. Definitely not him. But salute to Brennan Carroll. Salute to my guy, Just Raiders, baby, man. Dropped a few hundred on that Monday Night Football game, and that's just in Vegas, not including hope. Yeah, that's at least $1,000 trip. And I'm assuming that you're in Cali, bro, so it's a little cheaper to fly. But yeah, that's at least a 1K, a little 1K woo-wop, unless you're driving out there. But yeah, it's costly for sure. Let me see. Hey, man. I was not lying about that, man. Dollar Tree Graphk, man. Groupon Graphk. Groupon Graphk is here, bro. Oh, you said you in New Mexico. Shit. So you got to fly and all that, unless you're going to make that drive. Shit. But yeah, man. Other than that, you guys, we'll talk more about the Colts game as the week goes by. I don't want to give any predictions yet. I don't really want to go super duper into detail yet about this game, and we'll go over the matchups as the week progresses. I think I'm going to save that for Thursday. I believe we're going to do the AFC West roundup tomorrow. And then Thursday, I'll do my preview, and then we'll do a show Friday night at Stu's house, and we'll try and do one more Saturday before the game Sunday. So we'll be live, and we'll definitely be here every step of the way. Eric, I have not seen any updates. I know it was a sprained knee, and he looked as though he was running on the sidelines and ready to get back into the game. So it doesn't sound too serious. I'm still wondering if Pete and company have made a call to Seattle to see if there's any word on if the Seahawks would like to move Tariq Woolen. But we'll see. But I believe that Stokes will probably be good to go this weekend. And if not, you're going to see a ton of Darian Porter, which is good. You know, you invested a third round pick in him. You want to see Darian Porter go out there and play some football, go through his bumps and bruises, and see if he can hold it down against Daniel Jones and company. So, yeah, man. Let me see. But yeah, man, other than that, man, love, appreciate you all. And salute to everybody once again listening on Spotify and Apple Podcast. I truly appreciate you guys so much. If anything happens today, we get any updates, I may be live again tonight, but if not, you'll see me tomorrow with a coffee and convo and potentially an AFC West roundup show as well, you guys. So stay tuned for that. Love, appreciate you guys on the way out. Wipe them feet, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you guys. I'm out. I thought I was out. I guess I'm not.